peers, my relatives at this level. Usually I'm talking to a lot of politicians, a lot of suit and ties and so forth, and it's different. It's really unexplainable. But overall, it's really good to be home. I'm really, like I said, I was excited on the way up here. Left at 5 a.m. this morning with my deputy Steve, and a lot goes through my mind when I come home, and especially to this gymnasium. Spent a lot of time in this gymnasium. A lot of ball, a lot of good gym. See a lot of my Kurt and Chewy and PG. Chewy used to always cheat on the score though, by the way. So. What's the score, Chewy? Well, we're up 2. So a lot of time in this gym. I used to live right down the street. So of course, my father, a lifelong educator, so we always had keys to this gym, and so we'd always open the gym and have fun and play a lot of games, and then working for the school systems for a little bit too. I refed a lot of games here, so I probably refed a lot of your nieces and nephews and children, so hopefully I didn't give them a ref job, but I did the best I could. But my involvement with you folks is, again, it's personal, because I consider you all relative to me. I'm sure I'm related to half of you in this room. I'm positive about that. But my 4 years have just flown by, being appointed by then Governor Hovind, Senator Hovind, and now working for Governor Dalrymple. It's really been an honor, but also a challenge at times too. And when those challenges comes up, like Dwayne and Dr. Dakota talked about, those legislative processes, those budget cuts, your job security, your family, I'm a father too. I'm a husband too. I got payments, and I know how worried one gets about their job security. It's very personal. And again, coming from here and knowing my community very well, knowing my tribe very well, I knew I needed to really step up and work a little bit extra harder, and do whatever it takes to get that funding secured. But it takes communication, it takes dedication. I don't. Dwayne's kind of giving me some accolades here, but kind of undue. But if it wasn't for him and Dr. Dakota coming to me and saying, "Hey, we've got an issue here," I probably would have never known. Because at the time I was tracking about 30 legislative bills, 30 bills from education to roads to economic development, tribal college development. We're constantly juggling, those legislative bills from January to May. So you got to be in the know. You're always down, and there's always politicking, but you're having these conversations with these legislators, and some of them, are from Fargo, from across the street, and they don't know what our communities are like. They don't know what Belcourt's like. Maybe they've never been here. So it's been my job just to educate them about who we are, where we're going, our values, our education systems, and so forth, and that we're a thriving community, we're a thriving tribe, and also that we need to keep things fair when it comes to some of these bills. So that was a process, and again, it was interesting, but we got it changed. And again, it takes communication, and I'm glad we did. So I think for the time being, for some time, Dwayne and Dr. Dakota, we were to be in a good place for some time with all of you, and I'm very, very happy I was part of that. Again, coming back, sitting on the hallway, it reminds me of my time as a high school student. Proud alumni from the high school here. It was crazy because my family, we moved on and off the reservation throughout our lives. And I started Head Start here, graduated here, kind of come full circle with my education here in Belcourt. And I remember being in the class of Mrs. Azure, and government was one of my debate class. I always remember Roger Pullen, one of my cross-country coaches. I'm really big in athletics, big support to athletics and sports, and always watch games and keep tabs on the players and of all the teams, track and field, cross-country, wrestling in particular. Derek Dixon and Kathy, and what a program! So I make Kitchell pushback from some folks about bragging about my community programs that we have here. Because I am, and I'm very, very proud that I'm a Belcourt Brave. So, but again, you know, when I think about teachers like Miss Asher, Kathy and Derek Dixon, Roger Pullen, a lot of you, administrators here, you've all had huge impacts on my life. And for just me, out of the thousands and thousands, you know, I was talking to a couple of folks about Terry Ellery, about how many years he's been here. You know, it's just like, it goes by so fast, you know. And I remember being like Keith O'Valley, he was younger than me, now he's an administrator. I mean, you just see dynamic growth in our community and how we give back to our community. We go away to college, we come back and serve our community, and especially in the education system is so important, so crucial of how we're going to turn this thing around when it comes to some of the issues that we face as tribal nations. And we can always go on there. If you heard me speak before, I'm not real big on talking about the problems that we have, you know, because we all grew up that way. We live it sometimes, and we see it and feel it every day. But I have focused more upon the positives that we have in our tribe, in our tribal nation, and that we need to grow that, sustain it, and share it for our future generations. So again, I think when I think about you as teachers, what you've taught me, the impacts that you've made in my life, I would never guess in my wildest dreams I'd be sitting here talking to you, my peers, in the capacity that I am, you know. And if I wasn't doing what I'm doing, and maybe years from now when I get out of the political scene, I'm going to be a teacher. You know, I always made up my mind made up to be a teacher. College, I had a lot of one-on-one contact with families, students, and also they had a K through 8 school there in Sam Asher, and a tribal member. So I had a lot of contact with that. And I think, look back at that job, probably the other most rewarding job I had was at Puritan Learning Center. And again, a lot of you in this room have years and years of experience, classroom experience, K through 12. You guys are experts, educators. For me, I just had 1 year down at the Puritan Learning Center, and that was probably the most rewarding job I've ever had in my life. And I say that sincerely, honestly, because it taught me about what students need, the nurturing, the love, the respect, the encouragement that some of these students need. Because as we all know, you know, Puritan Learning Center is a tough school. A lot of these kids are sent there because of family issues, social issues, and so court order. They were hard. They were hard to, I guess, to get a handle on, maybe if that's the right word, or hard to get their trust. I recall my first day there, all the kids were coming into the school from various reservations around the Great Plains, and so we had assembly and the open gym. And so being a teacher and a coach there, I was kind of monitoring the gym and things. And this is like in the early 90s, so for me that was many pounds ago. But I was tested. I was walking by the basketball goal, so the basketball just came that close to my head. Boom! I looked around, holy cow, what was that? I thought somebody, you know, shot a half-court shot and just missed it, but I found it was purposeful. Somebody was trying to test me. And I thought right there, oh, these kids are testing me for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, probably because I was new. And so I had to get a control of that. It was an interesting lesson for me. And then shortly after that, I was out in the hall to get a drink of water. And the kid, his name was Thomas. I always remember his name, Thomas. And he looked up at me and he said, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Really nice young man." I said, "You're new here, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, yes I am." "Well, what grade are you in?" What did I get myself into? Harold Janat, what did you sign me up here for? So I knew I was in for it then, but I tell you, that was very, very hard when I left that school. I actually cried like a baby because I learned so much. I got really close to those kids. I got very personal with them because I think I just found a different love for children because, you know, bringing those kids from the school and bringing them back home to the reservations, you know, was my job. And I think we're so fortunate here in our Turtle Mountains because of our family. We're a very strong family oriented here. Whether you're in Petra, Dakota, Davis, Marceline, we're all very proud of our names, right? And it was interesting for me because when I went to drop these kids up into Cherry Creek, South Dakota, Mason, Nebraska, I was expecting mom and dad, aunties and uncles, grandpa and grandma to be waiting there for little Junior, little Johnny. And that wasn't the case. I was thinking, where's everybody at? And here I am, I have a fifth grader with me, you know, taking him back, and I was thinking, where's everybody at? Shouldn't they be happy to see him, welcome him home? And that concerned me, wow. So it took me about another hour to finally went out to him and said, hey, you know, he's back. What's going on here? And it's like, for some reason, family issues, whatever that may be, breakdown of family structure was not there. And I'm like, holy cow, so I was very concerned that here I'm leaving a child here without supervision. Do I leave or do I go back? What do I do? I was confused. And again, it's a reflection, I think, of school systems, communities that must work together in the betterment of our children. And we know those issues out there. We've seen those things before. So again, but you know, as your commissioner, as your relative, you know, my work is like I said, it's blown by. When I first took the office, the first thing that tribal leaders approached me on was the Native American desk in the DPI in Superintendent Basler's office. We need that desk back. We need that Indian education desk back. So I thought, wow, yeah, you're exactly right, but how do I do that? You know, how do I get that Indian education desk back, you know, to where it should be, so it could help you, help this administration, help the school system thrive and communicate, with our state government. But it took a while. But I have to give credit to Barb Arthel, the deputy superintendent, who got innovative in some of the areas, some change and turnover in the department. And there was a job, I think it was he or she was retiring, so we kind of rearranged some funding sources and so forth, and we got this Indian education back. And that person now is Lucy Fredericks. I know she wanted to be up here, but she had some other commitments. But Lucy's a member of the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, done a lot of work in Indian country, in Standing Rock and the Twin Beats area. So very, very proud that she's on board with us, with you all, as far as education systems, and to prove that. First Lady, Betsy's been up here. I know she's with the Imagination Library. I know she wants to come back up. I think her Superintendent Basler will be coming back up for another visit here in the near future. And I know Dwayne talked about, and Superintendent talked about our Indian Education Advisory Council. And I look at that council as a really very strong committee that we've developed between your administrators here, and I know John and some of the other folks, Dr. Dakota, serve on the committee. So we have this constant quarterly meetings with your leadership, sometimes tribal leadership, and our state resources on how we can face issues, problem solve, and move forward together. So it's a great council that I'm proud to be part of. I'm also got selected to the Common Core Standards Native American Advocacy Group.